guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching episode 2 of Hawkeye. Gotta say, I'm really enjoying this so far. My reaction will be under my YouTube memberships. If you are new here and you do not know what that is, it is a few special perks for members only, and I've got 2 levels of memberships over there. Level 1 is for $2.99 and you get priority replies from me, special polls, live streams. Level 2 is for $4.99 and you get everything level 1 has, plus you get all of my reactions to all the shows I watch and the movies I watch and on my Uncut Trial Not to Laughs. So go over there and check that out. I have begun to watch Echo. But I wanted to watch Hawkeye first because I did hear that this kind of opens the door for Echo. Now, as far as Kingpin goes, I didn't hear about Kingpin until I started playing the Spider-Man games, but apparently he's been in a couple of other things, and he's also in Hawkeye, or he gets introduced in Hawkeye. So I'm like, you know what? The first episode of Echo was a little all over the place for me, and a lot of you guys really agreed with me, but also agree with me in the sense that I should definitely get into Hawkeye so I can understand Echo a little bit better. So I wanted to do that. Now, this episode was interesting and it was funny too. So obviously, Hawkeye needs to go find out where the suit went because the suit is no longer at Maya's house, right? So I gotta say Clint. I gotta stop calling him Hawkeye. So, he basically explains to Kate that that suit made a lot of enemies, and we know that Hawkeye is Ronin when he has that suit on. So he explains to her, you know, how he needs to get that suit. He needs to find this. He needs to get the suit. So, the place, Kate's place, catches on fire. And she goes to take off the suit for him before this happens. So he ends up trying to ask her. He's like, all right, we need to hide you somewhere because, you know, this suit is no good. So he's asking her all these questions. And he wants to make sure that she didn't go anywhere or show her face because all these enemies that he made, if anybody saw the suit, they're going to go after him. So they go back to her place where she's got the dog. And he's asking her, okay, have you been anywhere else? She's like, no. Then he's like, all right, well, I'm going to need the suit. So she goes upstairs to take the suit off, comes back down. She's asking him for all this advice about the bow and arrows and archery and all this other stuff. The tracksuit guys show up after she says, oh, I came here with the dog. He's like, great. The guys show up. They're throwing like Mazel Tov bottles and it's just a whole disaster, right? The suit is sitting on a chair in the middle of her place or whatever. So everything's on fire. They leave the suit behind. They'll come back. He's like, just grab the dog. I'll take care of it. So they leave. He's trying to hide her. They end up going to her aunt's place, who's not there at the moment, I guess. And Hawkeye leaves her there to go back to get the suit. He goes back to her house. All the firefighters are there. Everybody's there. He sneaks in there with a firefighter's uniform, and the suit's not there. So he ends up going back to the fire truck, putting the stuff away, and he sees a sticker that says NYC LARPer. NYC LARPers. So I guess there's a bunch of, I don't know, they're like this group, Vikings, or they just pretend that they're Vikings. I don't know. There's a bunch of cops and firefighters, I guess, who are into this stuff. So he sees this sticker. He looks it up. He Googles it. He sees different pictures and videos, and he finally comes across a video with a guy who has the Ronin suit. So he's like, great. So as I suspected, he's not going to quite make it back home. So he sends his kids off home. um, to go before him while he sticks around to go after this suit. So in the meantime, he's talking with Kate and he's making sure that she gets to work on time because he doesn't want her to leave, but she's basically telling him like, look, my mom owns a security company. That's the safest place that could be. Let's just go there. Fine. He makes sure that she gets there safe. She goes in, she barges into her mom's office, and Jack is there. And this dude is already getting on my nerves. I don't like Jack at all. At all. I don't like him. He seems very, like, he irritates me. He has already irritated me since episode 1. So she goes into her mom's office to go talk to her, and here he comes. And she's looking at him like, what the heck are you doing here? So she's trying to talk to her mother, but he's sitting there all up in their business, and he basically is talking to her mother like she's not there, basically saying like she's intimidated by him and all this other stuff. And even I was sitting there like, dude, what were you talking about? She's looking at him like, oh, okay. So her mom tells Kate, okay, you know what, we're having dinner, why don't you come over? She's like, fine, as long as I can pick the subjects that we can talk about. So I already know where that's going, right? So anyway, so Hawkeye ends up going to wherever this NYC LARPers thing is. And he wants to talk to the guy who has the Ronin suit. He's got to sign up to do what they're doing. And he's just like, are you serious? So he goes there. Oh, and before that, there was kind of like a funny interaction with him and Kate because he's like, he's telling her, this might be the last time that I see you if everything goes right. She was like, oh, well, what about all the things that I was asking for? He was like, nah, you don't need all that. So he's like, look, this is for emergencies only. Here's my number. She was just like, oh, okay, cool. So as they're parting ways, she's like, I'll call you later. He was like, please don't do that. Don't do that. And it was kind of like a funny interaction. But anyway, so he has to sign up and put on this costume and basically be part of this LARPers thing just to get to the guy who has the suit. So he makes a pact with the guy. He's like, look, this can go one out of 2 ways. Either I can fake kill you or I can punch you in the face for real and I can still take the suit. He's like, look, just let me kill you. I'll give you the suit. Just let me kill you. It'd be a great deal. So they end up fighting. And in the midst of him getting to the guy, he's like in character. He's like fighting everybody off. And you see him, everybody's just kind of falling back. And I'm just like, he's like in his element kind of when he was Ronin. And it was kind of funny to see him in that. So then they're all forming a circle. And here is Clint with the guy who has the suit, whose name is Grills. Clint let him kill him. He gave him the suit. And he went about his business. So he ends up hiding it. Calls his wife. He tells him, look, I'm not going to be there. It's probably going to be another day. His wife obviously knows, what's going on. So she's not mad, but she's more concerned about the kids. So anyway, here goes dinner with Kate, her mom, and Jack. So they're having dinner, and you can see that Kate is really grilling him. So she challenges him to fencing. So her mom was just like, oh my God, but she wants to call him out. She's asking him about these swords because she knows that he stole that sword. She knows that he's got it. And she saw Armand, who I later find out was his uncle. It looked like he got sliced with something. So they begin fencing, and she's getting upset because she knows that he's letting her win. And he's trying to call him out on him lying about it. So they do it like 3 times, and he's like, all right, I'm going to take this stuff off. So then she charges at him, and he shows his skill by, blocking it and knocking her fencing sword or whatever out of her hand. So she's like, you see? Like, she called him out. Now, her mom is so daggone blind. So then he was like, well, yeah, I might have downplayed my skills a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And she's really upset because at this point, she's like, Mom, he's hiding something. He's no good. Mom's got her blinders on. We can tell that something ain't right. So then she begins to try to tell her all these things that she saw in that wine cellar when she initially went down there to find out what was going on. And he steps into the room and she knows that she can't say much. And her mom is just like thinking that this is something about Kate not knowing what she wants to do next after college or whatever. And she's looking at her like, this has nothing to do with that. So then Jack offers her a butterscotch with Armand's logo on it. Now, it could mean something, it could mean nothing, because at the end of the day, Armand was his uncle. So he could have very well, I mean, Armand had all of this whole bowl of butterscotches that were the wrappers were custom made with his name on it. So Jack pulls one out of his pocket. It's safe to say that, okay, he's been over at his place before. That's his uncle's house. Maybe he took a few. Or he was really the one, in fact, that killed Armand. And he grabbed a butterscotch on the way out. I don't know. But she saw that as a clue. So she saw that and immediately left the house. She tried to call Hawkeye. Now at this point, Hawkeye purposely goes out to get caught by the tracksuit mafia so he can speak to their boss about what's going on, because they are after Kate Bishop. Now they knew who Kate Bishop was because they read her mailbox outside of the house that they were at when the house caught on fire. So he ends up going over there. He's like, I want to talk to your boss. So then these guys don't seem to be the brightest crayons in the box, because the way that they're talking to him is just like, it was just hilarious. I was just like, these dudes cannot possibly be that badass because they don't seem that bright. So then, because Kate works at her mom's security company, she has access to find out where people are. She tracks Hawkeye's phone and she finds out where he is. So here she goes trying to save him. She ends up falling through the ceiling. Now they're both tied up. And what's hilarious is that they're both tied up to those little kiddie rides that you see in like the malls and stuff. So then he's basically like, I want to talk to your boss. I want to talk to your boss. So then we see that there's a hand on a base or on a, what looks like a subwoofer or something. I don't know. And the person's kind of like feeling it. And as soon as I saw the back of her head, I knew. I was like, oh, this is where they introduced Maya. And that's who that was, Maya. And that's where it ended. So now I'm just like, aha. So I've had my little aha moment in the second episode of Hawkeye. So I'm like, now I think I'm going to start getting into the gist of how this ties into Echo. And of course, the next episode of Hawkeye, the third episode, is called Echoes. So I'm assuming we're going to see more of Maya, which makes me feel better about seeing Echo. So this was pretty good. Definitely going to continue to watch this tomorrow. I think I'm going to watch the third episode of Hawkeye, and then I will watch the second episode of Echo. Not sure if that's going to make sense or not for me, but at least I'll be 3 episodes into Hawkeye, because I know that there's only 6 episodes. So hopefully by, before the end of Echo, I'll try to do my best to finish Hawkeye. So that way I can, seamlessly finish Echo. But leave your comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed my review and my thoughts on the second episode of Hawkeye. Let me know if you enjoyed the second episode when you guys watched it and what you guys think. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!